The etymology is labrys, a Greek word for a double-bladed axe. Why a double-bladed axe becomes the base of the word for a giant maze, I don't know. Maybe that's the weapon that the Minotaur had, the double-bladed axe? I don't know, it's been a long time since I've gone over Greek mythology. Long time indeed. Lion's Heart is new. It's an auction house that deals with ancient artwork and weapons obtained through the UMN network. Makes a little bit of sense. Lost Jerusalem. That is actually the name of First Jerusalem, or Old Jerusalem. Lost Jerusalem, the homeworld of mankind, which was lost thousands of years ago. Earth. In this age, not even its actual location is known, and that is kind of important. They don't know where Earth went. Last we saw of it was in the introduction cutscene, in which we saw a guy dig what looked like a Zohar out of the ground, and then kind of everything faded away, and then it was 3,000 years later. So in 3,000 years, we went from losing Earth to 500,000 star systems. Holy crap, are we good at moving on, apparently. Mutations in genomes. A phrase implying that genomes, or hereditary information, will somehow get around all obstacles in order to pass itself on. In other words, natural selection, evolution, whatever phrase you want to use for it, that's what they're talking about. Life finds a way, as they love to say on all the nature shows. Nephilim. Oh, I hope we get a lot of information about this little girl. They're not going to give us any information about this little girl. Instead, they talk about the historical Nephilim, according to the Bible, the sons of fallen angels. References to the Nephilim can be seen in the Old Testament. This is Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. There were mighty men who were of old, men of renown. I don't like this verse, because a lot of people misuse this. They use it as kind of proof, more or less, that the Bible's actually about aliens visiting Earth. And I'm kind of like, that is an interpretation, definitely. Sure, whatever you say, guys. But, no. Okay, we're going to move on, and I'm not going to talk about that anymore, because really it's just weird. Phenomena like this, yeah, we went over that. Photon torpedoes. We have not gone over photon torpedoes. How do those work? I honestly don't know how the Star Trek ones work, so I couldn't tell you if this is similar or different. Although called a photon torpedo, this weapon actually utilizes matter-antimatter reactions. Matter and antimatter are isolated in a protective field that is disengaged right before reaching the target, releasing the destructive force of matter-antimatter reaction. The photon refers to the bright light given off by the protective field once it is launched. Due to the extreme difficulty in creating antimatter, the amount of reaction from one photon torpedo is minimal. So, once again, I don't know how Star Trek does their photon torpedoes. If they went over it in the show, I missed it, or I glazed over because they were throwing, their half real science, half fake science at me. This, I completely understand. We actually make antimatter these days. It is a real thing. It actually exists. They make it in Europe. The Giant Hadron Collider, I'm forgetting how to actually say it. They actually make it really, really small quantities. As soon as it hits regular matter, it completely explodes, just destroying everything. So I don't know how hard it is to make now. I just know it's ridiculously hard. I don't know how much they have, but I would assume in 3,000 years it'd be a little bit easier. Yeah, that's just me. Pieta. We probably went over this before, but I want to emphasize a couple names that I want you to remember for later. A central supercomputer owned by the Uriev Institute, that's one name, the Uriev Institute. They in turn are a research facility built by another giant business conglomerate rivaling Vector, the Hyams Group. So, Hyams Group built a research facility known as the Uriev Institute, and there they have this supercomputer, which is probably not that important, but the Uriev Institute, definitely very important. Here are the two plans for and Margulis, we have gone over those before. PM, that is new. This is short for Pistolet Makarova. The Makarov, the gun which Guinan gave to Junior. An automatic pistol made in the former Soviet Union. It was issued to the Soviet Army in 1951, placing the Tokarev TT 1933. It uses a 9x18mm round, which is slower and therefore packs less penetrating power than the older Tokarevs. So I'm not exactly sure why the upgrade. I don't know enough about guns, but I'd assume penetrating power is a good thing. It holds 8 rounds in the cartridge, plus 1 in the chamber. The background story is that this gun, which Guinan acquired at an auction, was made by the former Soviet Union as a gift to a foreign VIP. Those are usually pretty damn good guns. I don't know if they work all the time though, but they are fancy looking. A less known fact, however, is that Junior had already purchased an SPP-1 at another auction, unbeknownst to Guinan. So in other words, that's why he has 2 new guns when I equip him with the Makarov, because he bought something else. I don't know what an SPP-1 is. I don't think it's another Makarov, though. It doesn't sound like it would be. Potential phenomena? There we go, another new one. A term mentioned by Nephilim. In other words, one possible path of the future. Since the future has yet to be determined, nothing is definite. Only a myriad of possibilities exists. Oh, is it only a myriad? Which pretty much means only an infinite amount? Sure, that's all. Just an infinite. That's awesome. Sellers. We might have seen him before. He probably will be more important later on, so I might as well bring him up now. The man with motorized sunglasses. Now this is new. I don't remember ever saying motorized sunglasses before. With whom Margulis was discussing the Zohar and plans for future at the command center on Pleroma. His appearance and demeanor indicate that he is a scientist of some sort. The fact that he spoke to Margulis as an equal indicates that he is also a very high-ranking individual, but he is otherwise a mystery. We'll never find out about Sellers. We might, eventually, but not right now. Shion's father, also important, a high-ranking official in the Federation's Ministry of Energy. He served as supervisor of special operations. As to what exactly his job entailed, or what operations he was supervising, remains to be seen in following games. So why even bring it up, game? Why? Tactical Sim Lab refers to Vector's Combat Technology Research Laboratory, a division within Vector which evaluates all weapons created by the company for their wartime efficacy. In some cases, it also develops new technologies as well. It is separate from the other R&D divisions for practical reasons and is located on board the Damarung. If I remember right, we will be seeing the Tactical Sim Lab eventually, but not in this game. I think we do actually go there. I'm not even going to try to say that one. This is an enzyme that restores and extends the protein complex at the end of a chromosome. I'm not good with DNA names. It's the T, though. It's the T part of cat, which is all over DNA. You got a lot of cats on you. Tessidora, one of the planetary members of the Galaxy Federation. Thank you for all that information, game. I would have never been able to figure out through context that Tessidora was a planet. Thank you. Thank you so much. We should have a couple more to go here. Udu, this is gonna be good. Give me all the information you have on Udu. That's not very much. The entity depicted as a massive shockwave originating from old Milsha in the futuristic vision shown to Shion by Nephilim. Judging from the words of Guinan, Helmer, and Wilhelm, it is clearly related to the incident which occurred 14 years ago. So Guinan, right? You guys know Guinan. He's the guy that is telepathic with Junior. Helmer is the guy that keeps on saying Udu. And Wilhelm is the CEO of Vector, the one with the white hair that I read before. We'll see more of him in a little bit. Nephilim claims that the wave is a living consciousness, but the truth is yet to be revealed. Sounds like a big bad guy to me. What do I know? We'll just move on and try to find new stuff. Violation of protocol, that is new. The records within Kos-mos' subconscious are part of Vector's most highly classified information, and in the story, Alan declares that any unauthorized duplication of them is a clear violation of company regulations. That is definitely true. Don't give away Kos-mos' secrets to anybody. She's too classified for that. Actually, the motive behind the duplication is to clear any suspicion toward the Foundation, of which Vector is a primary investor, and the Second Military Government. Therefore, in light of the situation, it seems highly unlikely that permission for such would be withheld. In other words, yeah, Vector would have probably been okay with it because they're so highly invested in the things that Kos-mos cleared, specifically the Kukai Foundation and the Second Military Government. The only requirement would be to censor any information that should be withheld from the public. This is not considered a falsification of records, and filter the record. However, Xion decided that the current situation qualifies as an emergency and took it upon herself to move forward without any pre-authorization. So she said, "No, this is too important. I'm just going to do it." Wilhelm! Finally, we get to see this guy. He's the founder and CEO of the interplanetary conglomerate Vector Industries. Founder, you say? How old is this guy? He also served as the executive committee director of the Galaxy Federation up to a decade ago. So he was in charge of the Federation Assembly 10 years ago. Once again, how old is this guy? Like Chaos, his origins and personal history are shrouded in mystery. In other words, they're not telling you. A man in a scarlet cloak, his advisor and aide, is ever present at his side, and the strains of Wagner can always be heard in his office. Wagner's opera writer, in case you didn't know. It is opera, right? Yeah, he wrote opera. And the guy in the scarlet cloak, surely that is not important at all. And that might actually be it. No, we do have the Zohar project. Once again, give me all the information that you have. I know it's important. That's not a lot of information. This is a project involving the Galaxy Federation, the SOCE, I forgot the official name for it, Second Militia, and Vector, among others. As to the exact nature of this project, please stay tuned for the following episodes. In other words, they gave me absolutely no information. Everybody's involved in this, and they're not going to tell me what it is. Well, everybody except for Utic, but you know, Utic seems to be the bad guys at this point. So all the good guys are involved in this, apparently. And that is it for the database. I know we were in there for a long time, and I know that as soon as we leave, we're going to get more emails. So, hooray! We're going to spend a lot of time looking at words. But we are going to move on. The trigger for this next part is talking to Alan. If you remember, we are going to talk to Alan. He is, it's not a spoiler. I'll go ahead and tell you. He's actually in the Kukai Foundation. So we're going to wait for a while before we go there. But we do get another email, and if I remember right, this is a big one. It is the big one. We get permission to use a new tech attack. This, of course, is for Kos-mos. We get a couple upgrades here because they're like, oh, Gnosis are getting stronger. I'm like, yeah, of course they are. Kos-mos now can use a new tech attack, one of my favorite tech attacks, definitely my favorite for her. We get to use X-Buster, which is very similar to what we saw in a cutscene when I think I said even, like, oh, what's that tech? Why can't I use that? It was X-Buster, and we will try to use that eventually. Oh, I will try to level that up immediately. It attacks everybody. And we also get a new sub-weapon, which is FR Shot. I'm not a big fan of the sub-weapons, but we did get a new one. It might actually not be as good as what I already have. So in order to get this one, you have to download it. Don't forget to download. That is kind of important. Bunny, turn around. I want to see the back of your head. I don't think he's ever going to let me see the back of his head. Just, come on, just spin for me. Just a quick spin. He's never going to do it. And if we head down here, we get yet another email. This one's not necessarily as important because we don't really get anything. But this is the sister of the hacker. You remember last time we were doing the hacker thing? The sister was like, I'm going to avenge you. Guess where I am? And we guessed the Durandal. And this is the email for that. Very good, you were correct. But I'm going to die anyway. I stole Vector Industries' confidential, highly classified case file. And then I think this is like a conspiracy theory thing that she goes over. It might be true, but it sounds like a conspiracy theory. Enhanced AI development is prohibited. It was prohibited 13 years ago by established Federation law. There they were working on it. That's pretty much, I'm trying to give you like a quick summary of it because it can be quite expansive here. A quad inventor, leader in developing intellectual instruments, successfully developed an enhanced AI known as Panspermia. Panspermia planned a revolt against mankind. You know, Panspermia went all Terminator Skynet on us and was going to kill everybody. The Galaxy Federation fleet was dispatched and attacked Quad Inventor headquarters, resulting in the complete destruction of the headquarters, as you might expect. So then they made the laws prohibiting all research and development of enhanced AIs, because they turned on mankind just like they feared. However, yes, it severed the lifeline of enhanced AI, R&D, and making the knowledge. Oh, right. Basically, what Snake Charmer is saying is that, in fact, they didn't kill Panspermia. Vector actually took her and did research, so now they have a monopoly on enhanced AI research and development, which is kind of weird. And now, Snake Charmer is actually saying that Panspermia wasn't actually revolting against mankind, that they just made that excuse so that Vector could go in it and do research on him themselves. I don't think they ever say whether or not Panspermia is a her or him. It sounds like a her to me. Enhanced AI who set out to attack humans were ostracized, and its research along with Panspermia became exclusive properties of Vector. So, Vector got access to the enhanced AI, and that explains why they are so much superior compared to every other company. Vector is selling enhanced AI under the guise that they are regular AI. I don't know what Vector would do to staff like you who have this confidential information. They might kill you. Anyway, goodbye. And that is the end of the email. If you guess wrong, though, you actually get like 100,000 G, but this information should prove vital to us. And, you know, I want to guess right. The deadly nanomachines have been stopped. Yay, we stopped the plot. There's nothing else we can do, is there? I wonder how Vector will react. I don't think the company will be able to do anything about the situation we're in. Worrying won't get us anywhere either. Yeah, I guess we have to just let things take their course. So, we don't get very much information. That is email number 45 for those of you trying to keep up. That's a lot of emails. And I actually think, that is actually the last email. Thank God. But we have a few things that we need to do, one of which I actually think I'm a little bit behind on. I think I missed an opportunity to go back to the dock colony before. As a result, I might be a little bit behind on the dock colony now. But it shouldn't be that big of an issue. We're going to head back to the dock colony now, and we're going to check on some progress there. There is nothing more to do in the Durandal, so you want to head to the dock anyway. Pretty much what you need to do is go to the Kukai Foundation, like I said before, and talk to Alan. I'll go ahead and say it. He's in the bar, that first place in section 26 and 27. But that's going to be the last place that we go. I know Alan has been suffering so long without our notice, specifically Shion's notice, and we're going to make him wait a little bit longer for it, because I have that kind of authority these days. And I say we ignore Alan some more. Pretty much because I want to do some other things. But in particular right now, I want to head to the dock colony so that we can take care of... Yeah, as long as you get paid. I'm not paying you shit, dude. We're going back to the dock colony. We are going to check on Ludi. Do you remember Ludi? Of course you do. Once again, how are we leaving the Kukai Foundation? Does the Durandal have to, like, go down so that we can get out from the dock down there? Is there a special access door outside the Kukai Foundation? They're never going to explain that to me, ever, unfortunately. So let's go back to the clinic here in the dock colony, and Ludi should be in this first room here. And like I said, I think I missed an opportunity to go to the dock colony before to deal with Ludi here, so I won't be able to get the thing that I want, but we'll be making progress, which is definitely what I want. Oh, it's budding. Remember, we gave her the Ariadne flower seeds, and it's starting to bud. That's the spirit. Just a little more to go. Good luck. But she's still not talking to us. You can talk to her again. You get a slightly different conversation here. I'll come check again. So good luck taking care of it. And she almost said something. Yeah, she almost said yes. I'm going to say that she almost said yes. But that is pretty much it for the dog colony. If I had made the trip earlier, this time the flower would have been fully bloomed. And yeah, I'll go ahead and spoil it. Louis gives you an item, so I'll be back for the item. I don't want to say what the item is, but I can do without it for a little bit. So let's move on to the Durandal.